Are Mariana Zapata's books really worth the reading? Hi, I'm Dani. Welcome back to my archives. And I wanted to talk about Mariana Zapata's book. It's quite known on BookTok, and I've known her from TikTok. So when I started this new journey of reading again, after escaping and a reading slump I've been from years, I took Mariana Zapata's book and started to read them because most women were talking about them on TikTok. So I wanted to give it a try and start reading romance again, because when I started to read books again, it was more like fantasy or dystopian. So I wanted to give it a try to romance, and I started reading Mariana Zapata. I think what I loved the most about Mariana Zapata's book is how real they feel, how you just encounter this female character, because most of the main characters of her books are female, are women, and what I love about them is how strong they are and how vulnerable they also are, and how are they fighting her own traumas, her own fights, for saying it in that way. And it's beautiful because it's not only about romance, but how they get through that romance, how they get to that person they're going to be with. And of course, they're always happy ending. And what is special about her writing and narrative is the story behind the character, the leader of the story, the main character. So some things I love about Mariana Zapata, and I wrote here because I just cannot talk without having notes about it, and how is more of a plot. I think her books are character driven. Something I love about Mariana Zapata's books is that her stories are character driven. I used to think I didn't like character driven story. I would like just plot driven stories, but with Mariana Zapata I understood that I loved character driven stories as well. And sometimes the plot is not even that important if the characters is not having like this story by himself, it's not having introspection, it's not having this point to overcome what her fears are or her traumas. And it's not only about trauma, but just like having these introspections about himself or themselves. And I think this is a cool thing about Mariana Zapata's characters. We always encounter in her books this woman, this female leader, who is just a human being, because most of the stories are non-fiction. It's just a human being who tries to overcome the occurrences and the things that happen to her throughout the story and her life in general. And there's always like this mystery going on with them that is just, it drives you to keep reading, and you just want to understand more of what they're doing and what it's happening. And what is cool is that we are inside this leader mind, so we know everything that she's thinking. And sometimes when you're reading first person from an only person point of view, it can get tiring and it can feel overwhelming sometimes, because it's like, okay, it's just one person and what I'm doing is just read another person's thoughts. But what I think is beautiful about Mariana Zapata's character is that they think in a human way, like they just have these questionable thoughts like everybody else has. And I think it's so cool to be represented in that way, because we are not perfect, and these characters, of course, they're not. So it's like watching or reading about a friend going through all of these changes in her life. So this is one of the things I love about Mariana Zapata, how their books feel so emotional, and you see this character feel vulnerable and happy and sad and get through these human emotions that we all are related to. And that's simply just so cool because it feels like taking a breath from all these stories that seems like these characters are so fictional we cannot connect with them sometimes. And I just think this is just like a peaceful book every time I read one of those. One of the things I love about Maria Zapata is how most of the books, I mean, I think all of them, I wouldn't say all of them because I haven't read all of them, but the ones I've read, they're always friends to lovers. And I think friends to lovers is so underrated because, I mean, enemies to lovers is okay, but there's something about friends becoming lovers that is just so intimate, so beautiful. You get to know this person, you get to be vulnerable with them, you get to feel just secure in this relationship with them, and after you even think about it, you're in love with them. And I think that's beautiful in how every time she portrays these thoughts, these emotions of getting to a friendship, to just be acquaintances and then being friends and then be something more than friends, how she creates all this relationship. It doesn't feel rushed, it feels just, she just takes her time building the relationship between the main character and the love interest. And I just appreciate that sometimes, because sometimes when we read a rom-com or we read just a romance story, these people just fall in love with each other so fast and there's no emotion, there's no point to reading when just at 3 pages they're going to fall in love. And Mariana Zapata is called the queen of slow burn for a reason, and it's just totally worth it to read one of her romances, because you just get to the point where, like, in the page 300, you're just like waiting for something to happen, and you know it's gonna happen, but you just wait for it because it's so beautiful how she writes all the relationship of the main characters. Due to the fact that her stories most of the time are character driven, you get to see all the development of the characters even after what they gone through, and even before of studying the reading. You just get to know this character and be fond of them because it's just always a beautiful story, and she makes you to understand why people act the way they act, how this female leader acts the way she acts, and why is that. And it's just so peaceful to know how she's overcoming of those fears, how she's getting to know herself more. It feels like an introspection journey that you are going through beside her, and also you're getting to know more of yourself, even because you can relate so much with her characters, because sometimes it's a character that is, struggling with trust issues, and she doesn't want to be in love, or is someone who is so emotional, sentimental, and wants to be in love and wants to overcome the fear of getting, just trashed. I just feel her characters are so relatable, even though she keeps this same pattern throughout her books, like it's the female leader who is overcoming her fears and gets to know this man who is going to be her true love at one point of the book. And that's, even though you know where everything is going to end, you just keep reading because the story itself is so beautiful and the characters are very different, and even though they share the same pattern of narrative, and you get one of those characters to be related to. And I feel she understands a lot of human emotions, like the questionable things you are ashamed of thinking, these female leaders think it, and they are so funny. Also, I laugh a lot with her books. I think is one of the reasons why I liked it, because maybe this is not the type of rom-coms you're expecting to read. This is not the books you expect to be rom-coms, but I just feel these are the perfect rom-coms, even though they're long. Most of the times they're long, they're her books, but I always have fun reading them. How she makes you laugh with the banter of the characters. And it's not only the relationship between the main character and the love interest, it's also about friends, about family found, and I just love that about her books. Something I like about her books is how the love interest is not that perfect. I mean, it seems perfect, but they all have their flaws as humans as we are, and I think that makes the story even more beautiful, because even though our both characters are not perfect, they just fit together so well, and they look as human as ever, and it can make you connect more with the idea of finding your true love. And of course, these men, even though they're not perfect, they're nearly to be, because she knows how to write men and the love interest in those books. So I just love that too. Something else I like is about spies in the book. I'm not entirely in disagree with the spies in books, but I just feel sometimes they are unnecessary, or the book could be completely well without them. But something I like about Mariana Zapata is that she doesn't put excessively spies into the book. It's one scene. It's just one scene at the end of the book when there's spies, like maybe like a reward from all the slow board she built in all that process. And it's like an intentional spice scene. It's not uncomfortable, it's not like unnecessary, you just go with it. It's like, okay, even if you don't like spice, it can feel like, well, it doesn't feel awful in the way in some books does. Now, the books I've read about Mariana Zapata, I read quite a lot, even though I still missing some. These are some meaningful reviews and recommendations for you if you want to start reading Mariana Zapata. This could be a good point to start. So, the first one is Dear Aaron. A 24-year-old Ruby signs in a program when she has to email soldiers to make company to them, and she picks one named Aaron, and after sharing some emails they make this bond, this friendship, and they start this cute and wholesome friendship. They get to know each other, their fears, their way of being, and it's just so beautiful to get this friendship turns out. And of course, after they create this beautiful friendship, she has to face the fact she's starting to fall in love with him. And now this is a problem because she's going to meet him in person after a long while. The thing with this book is the first half of the book is them sharing emails, so this is the structure of the book, like it's just the emails they send to each other, and the second half of the book is them talking on the phone and meeting each other. So this might not be the best like structure of the book. I don't like that structure, like sharing emails, sharing messages all the time. It's quite hard to start from, but it's totally worth it. I just love friends lovers, and this is a quite example of that. And it's beautiful, the relationship between both of them and how they overcome this physical distance. And I think this is proof of how can you work out a relationship, a distant relationship. a distance relationship, sorry, and how can you overcome that? And I think it's beautiful. I reread it a while ago, and I think it's funny too, and seeing how they become friends and start falling in love with each other is just beautiful. And even though this like way of telling this story wasn't at all for me, I liked it even so. It is a cool story to start in. If you like Friends to Lovers, this will be a good choice for you. Another one of her best, I think this is one of her best book this far, and is All Roads Lead Here. So this follows Aurora, who wants to connect more with the spirit of her mother after she's passed, and she wants to connect more with her, trying the things she liked to do when she was alive. So after a breakup, she goes to the town where her mother used to hike, which was one of her favorite activities or hobbies to do, and goes there to try to connect more about the memory of her mother and get peace of mind and avoid everything else in her world, or the world she used to have. Now she's kind of a neighbor of Rhodes, a single father who is grumpy and is a Navy SEAL and is the police officer of, but it's not a police officer, but it's like that. He's an ex-Navy. So they have like this awful encounter at first, and he's so grumpy and he looks like he's all annoyed. This could be like a grumpy sunshine trope, it could be like that. And the single parent trope, I used to think I didn't like the single parent trope until I read Mariana Zapata's book, and this is just a wonderful book because Amos, the son of Rhodes, is just amazing. It's just an amazing character, and in this book you will find family found, you will find a true love story that is wonderful, and how you can overcome grief, and how this grief can make you feel so bad, but at the same time makes you do greater things and beautiful things that fulfill you. And I think it's one of the best representations of grief you can find in books. I just love this book so much. It would be a great movie adaptation. And the scenes of this book, I mean, is like an old town, quiet and a small town where everybody knows each other, and the relationship she builds with Rhodes and his son, is beautiful. Okay, this also gets the recognition between Aurora and her old friend. It's so beautiful. You get to see all these people hanging out and overcoming their struggles, because everyone is struggling with something, and it's just so beautiful. This is an actual reread for me. This is just a beautiful story. You wouldn't want to stop reading because it is just so wholesome. And of course, watching Aurora fall in love with Rhodes and vice versa this is one of the funniest books I've read. Not in a way that you're going to be laughing out loud all the time, but it's really funny, and the interactions between Rhodes and Aurora is just so beautiful, and how he's a grumpy man, but he's one of the loveliest men you're ever going to meet. Another one is Under Lock. This was a different type of book for me. I wasn't expecting Mariana Zapata to write like this, and I think this is not of her best works, but I just couldn't put it down, and I still liked this book like a lot. I would be lying if I said I didn't like this book, because even though it was hard for me to read at some point, it was great. I actually liked it. This doesn't follow the pattern of the spies after I mean, at the end, it's more like you get more spice in this, but not in a every page is a spice scene. But this is like an enemies to lovers trope, I would think. This will be like enemies to lovers. Enemies, no, wait. This could be like enemies to friends to lovers, and it's just good. It's just good. I mean, I would lie if I said it was bad, but it's different. It's different, of course, but it was really good. This follows Iris that had been through a lot in her life after battling cancer and the losing of her mother and her nana, and having to struggle with the fact she has an awful dad who's not present at all. So after the death of her nana and losing her house, she moves with Sunny, her half brother, who is lovely. I love Sunny. I would love to read a book about Sunny, and I hope Mariana Zapata just does that. But now Iris is in a different town, in a different job, in a different way of living, feeling like she's just upsetting everyone around her due to her struggles. And now in her new job, she has a grumpy and playboy boss who now she has to interact with. And of course this gorgeous boss falls in love with her in his own questionable way. He's just a playboy and a grumpy with, you know, these anger issues, but he's a good person after all. Well, maybe he's like an immoral character, but you get to love him. Okay. The thing with this book, I just loved the interactions between the characters. It was really funny actually, and sometimes it was difficult to read because it makes you uncomfortable sometimes, but I think it's because Mariana Zapata wanted you to feel uncomfortable sometimes. Watching how Iris was struggling with things that wasn't her fault and have to now solve the problems her father caused is just so interesting to read. And seeing the dynamic between her and Dex, the love interest, I loved the family found in this book because she gets to know new people that become her friends, and they have this loyalty and good banter between them, and it's really, really good. This book is interconnected, the universe, with the next one, who is my favorite one of all Mariana Zapata's book, and is Wait for It. This follows Diana, who is the legal guardian of her two nephews after the death of their parents. She has struggled so much with this. She's 29 years old, and now she has to raise them by herself. And even though she loves them through hell, sometimes just adulthood gets difficult. And she just portrays this fear of doing things wrong, of disappointing everybody so well, and you can relate to that a lot. And also she portrays the topic of grief wonderfully, because she lost her brother and now she has to raise his children, and the relationship they have is beautiful. She gets through all these emotions of losing her brother to falling in love with her new neighbor, who is also the coach, the baseball coach of her oldest nephew. And after a horrible relationship, she's just afraid to ruin her life, and not only hers, but her nephew's. So the love interest is named Dallas, and they start with the left foot, sorry, and but it's so beautiful, the romance here, because they became best friends, and after getting to know each other, getting to understand each other, they create this beautiful relationship between them, and of course they fall in love with each other. It's inevitable. I love this book because how the relationship between her and Dallas and the nephews is just so wonderfully written, and it's a daily, well, it's not a daily but a yearly reread. I love this book so much. She goes through so much also, and it's really honor. It's an honor to see how she goes through all that. I mean, she is my hero. Totally, she's my hero. She's just this character you want to be because she's so lovable. She's gorgeous. She's strong. She's willing to do everything to raise these kids. She's just a respectful character. And the story between them is beautiful. In this book, you have how she struggles with grief, with love, with the bargain of raising children, and how you don't want to let them down and let everyone down. And when she just cannot go through life, and she's just, everything's too much for her, she just needs to keep going, because what else is she going to do? If that didn't answer your question, for me it's a totally yes. Mariana Zapata is worth the reading if you like rom-coms, if you like reading about humanly characters, and you want to get your time well invested, because you're going to get a beautifully story with a really connection between the main characters, a family found, best friends to lovers, and you're going to get all your emotions hyped up, because she just knows how to write characters and how make them feel human. This is a type of book you need to take your time reading, not because they're hard to read, but because you want to get through all the emotions the character is feeling, and to contemplate the investment Mariana's made to build these beautiful characters and their story. If you want another recommendation of another author that's out there, let me know. Bye.